Hey guys, it's a beautiful night tonight at the beach, so I thought I'd do a little short video to talk a little bit about some of the synchronicities that I've been experiencing since I've been doing some of Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. It was so beautiful tonight. I've MacGyvered my phone on some driftwood, so I hope that it remains and doesn't fall over, but so far so good. So anywho, as promised in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I would talk a little bit about some of the synchronicities that have occurred since I've been doing some of Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations. If you haven't seen some of my other videos, I'll make sure to put the links down to them in the description below, because that'll explain kind of what has led me to this point. But for the most part, I started Joe Dispenza's meditations once again around the beginning of March. I went all in after 2 years of kind of dipping my toe in and being more of an observer on the sidelines. And when I started doing them regularly every week, I started having some really cool mystical experiences, including Kundalini rising. So it's involuntary body movements that I've been experiencing. And I won't get too much into that, but lots has unfolded since my first, couple of videos. Lots of changes. That's one thing that can occur when doing Dr. Joe's work, is once you start doing his work effectively and you start, really getting into alignment with the future self, sometimes your current reality just kind of crumbles right around you. And that has been my personal experience. Okay, so I just had to do a little relocation, so you could hear me a little bit better and get a little bit more privacy. So anyway, some of the synchronicities that I've been experiencing, I mentioned one in my first video. After my neck was guided into this position for an hour and a half, and I believe it was divinely guided to relieve my neck pain. Well, I know that to be true because that's my experience. And when I came up out of that pose after being stuck there for an hour and a half, I saw in front of me on my vision board 2 women doing these yoga poses with their necks released back like this. There was also a photo of divine love on my vision board, which was really cool. And I knew at that moment that these were messages from something far beyond myself. These were divinely inspired messages to show me that I'm on the right path. Synchronicities. Some of the other synchronicities I have been seeing are birds, and I know birds are pretty common, but some of the birds I've been seeing more than others are hawks and eagles, which I don't normally see that much, or maybe I just never noticed that. But I've noticed multiple. Almost every day on my walks, I'll look up in the sky and there'll be a hawk or 2, usually multiple hawks. So I started to think, what the heck is this? And so when I'm looking it up, the meaning of a hawk, it's all centered around kind of leadership and new beginnings and stepping into kind of stepping out of fear and more into like inspired leadership type thing. So I thought, what? That is really cool. Also, the eagle symbolizes leadership as well. So I don't know what all that means, but I just wanted to look into that. Also, daffodils, seeing those every day and noticing them. The fact that I'm noticing them more than ever and have the desire to look into it a bit more and looking into the meaning of a daffodil, like what is the spiritual meaning of a daffodil? And spiritual meanings of daffodils are, from what I researched, new beginnings. So, that's beautiful. That resonates with me. And I know that that's a message sent from the divine, that everything's going to be okay. Also, when I first started doing the meditations, I was really wanting to generate a feeling of freedom, because I had been feeling very trapped and confined in my current reality, trapped at my work, trapped in my relationship, feeling just stagnant and stuck, and one of the feelings, the elevated emotions I was trying to generate, well, that I was generating, was freedom, financial freedom, and just emotional freedom. And on my walks in the subsequent days, I was seeing these little messages everywhere. And so there was a rock in one of my neighbor's gardens that I'd never noticed before, and it was a little heart-shaped rock that was painted, and there was a little message on it that says, "You are free." And I was like, holy shit. That also, walking around my neighborhood at that time, there was a neighbor of mine who has an RV, and on the back of it are these graphics that say "escape" in bright, bold letters. And I saw that and walked past that car multiple times and was like, holy shit, that's a message. And this was before I had decided to leave, but this was like days leading up to it. I leave my husband in my current reality at the time. Another synchronicity and message that I saw when I was washing dishes at my previous home before I left was this cup that we had gotten at some tropical restaurant in Florida. It was like a little souvenir cup that said, "Life is short, run away." Okay, sounds like a pretty strong message to me. And then just overwhelmingly feeling like it was time to move on. And I knew all these messages were coming to me, or at least I was noticing them, because it was time for me to move on to the next chapter in my life. I wanted to share another synchronicity because there's been a few others, but I'm trying to remember them all now. The other day during one of my meditations, I've been having some struggles with them. I've been struggling with overcoming emotions because, going through a separation from my husband. There's also been some family tragedies that were kind of unexpected. And so dealing with a lot of grief and fear of the unknown and, fear of being alone for the rest of your life and whatever those fears may come up when these things happen. So I've been struggling with my meditations a bit. And then when I do start to struggle, I just observe that. Say, okay, this is the old mind coming up. This is the old way of thinking. I'm going to forgive myself for that. And I'm just going to fold right back in to the unknown. And during one of my meditations and one of my kind of fearful moments of like, what am I going to do with my finances? Oh my God, like my marriage was my security net. It made me feel safe and secure. What am I going to do? Holy shit balls. And I saw this vision of this man. And to me, it was like a very faint vision. And when I see visions, it's like, just kind of, you just see something very faintly in your mind. And I saw this man in a robe, and he appeared to be a man that was impoverished, possibly like a peasant from like the Middle Ages, And I got that sense because he was in this dirty robe. He just looked really dirty and tattered, and he had dirty feet, and he was walking away from me, and I got the sense that he was impoverished, and he was walking away from me, and I felt really connected to this man in my mind, and I felt a lot of compassion for him, and I was like, man, I just felt really strongly. Then suddenly the man turns, the scene changes into where this man is looking at me, and all of his dirty garments are stripped away from him, and his dirty robe is replaced with a royal cloak and a crown. And he's just smiling with so much joy and laughter, and he's like, I never knew this was possible. I never knew this was possible. And just tears of joy. And I just felt so moved by this man, and I felt so connected to him, and I was just crying these tears of joy during my meditation for him. I was just like, oh my God, and then he essentially, I just got this sense that he was this amazing leader that was so compassionate now towards others, towards the less fortunate, and just wanted to give everything that he had because of his personal experience. And then I realized how important it is for all of us that are doing this work, and for these transformations that are happening, and how it's really our purpose and to share these experiences to help others so that they can, you know, move forward on their journeys and progress in their lives and find, you know, these new realities that are possible. And so this is my little video for tonight, but I might have some other synchronicities that come up. But the dog's getting a little unruly back here. He's gonna take off on me, so I better catch up with him. But thank you guys again for all the amazing comments, and for being so loving and supportive and kind and welcoming and cheering me on, even though this is some crazy shit going down, and just being so kind. Thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful for you. Blessings to all of you. I'm so excited to hear about your journey as well. And until next time, I'll keep you guys posted. Bye.